Hi everybody, welcome to the Antisocial Planet, and today we're going to be trying something new for the channel. So, people have been asking me for the last little bit if I can check out some webcomics. In general, I've been suggested a few different things, and I've been trying to figure out exactly how I want to do that. But today, we're going to try it out. We're going to see how it works out, and we're going to start with Tower of God. So we're going to be looking at, well, two chapters. There's like a chapter 0 thing where it's going to be like a bit of a little preview thing, but we are going to be looking at those first two chapters, see what this is about. I've heard of it because I spend an unhealthy amount of time reading webcomics, so I definitely have heard of Tower of God, but I don't really know anything about what the plot is or anything like that, nor have I read any of it. So we're just gonna figure that out as we go along. I'm not going to be reading it like in real time. So anyone who saw my live stream that I did where I kind of talked about this, I'm a really anxious reader. I've always struggled with reading. Reading isn't something that I've ever been super comfortable with doing, so I don't want to read on camera. I don't want to do it. It makes me feel awful inside, so I'm not gonna do that. And also, I don't want to just go through the whole comic in real time because I want you guys to go to Webtoon and read it for yourself. I'm really just here to share my thoughts, share some of my impressions and stuff like that. So I am going to show the webcomic on this part of the screen while I'm going through, but I am going to cut up this reading really just to the stuff that I'm talking about and the things that I think are important. So I hope that that works for people. It might not be exactly what people want me to do, but that's how I'm deciding to do it, and I hope that you guys can understand where that decision is coming from. So let's just get into Tower of God. I don't really have anything else to talk about specifically because I don't know what I'm about to read. So let's just go over to Webtoon. Okay, so this is chapter 0, episode 0. We'll see what this is all about. Ooh, I love the color like halo thing around the writing. I always love comics that use like interesting color palettes and just like diverse colors because I'm not great at that. My art tends to be a little bit stark. So I love looking at other art styles that have like more of play more with color. Sorry, I should be reading. What do you desire? So I'm guessing these are like characters that are gonna be important in the story at some point. I like the green skin. I always like character designs that have like the uncanny valley effect to them. So they feel like they're familiar enough, but like there's enough different about them that they feel like a little bit disarming to be near. I don't know. I like the character design of this one specifically. The green. Ooh, what is that? Hello, wolf alligator thing? So we have like mutations of some kind? Or a different species? Interesting. Oh, I don't like that creepy wide smile that's happening. Are those... I can't tell if it's like the corner of the mouth or if those are eyes. But glowing eyes is never a good thing. And the sharp teeth. I don't know what this character is, but it makes me uncomfortable. Ooh. Hello, person that was tagged at the end. I like your yellow eyes. So that's, like I thought, it would be just like a little introduction to the overall series and kind of what it's about. and like kind of give an idea. So it looks like there's like the Tower of God is like an actual place, and it deals with like desire and stuff. I don't really know enough about the art because I've only seen parts of it, and like it's fairly straightforward framing because it's just for like introducing characters and stuff. But it does look like they're playing a little bit with color, which I like. Nothing super standing out for me from like an artwork standpoint, but like that's not a real critique about it. Obviously, I don't really know a lot about the art style anyway from like seeing like a handful of panels. So let's just check out the next chapter and get into the actual story. Chapter or episode 1? Episode 1. Starting a little bit dark, a little bit grim, a little bit like we're in some kind of cavern or like underground somewhere. Our main character, isn't this the character that was at the end of the episode 0? The one that had the yellow eyes? Who are we running with? Oh, are we catching someone? Are we running after someone? I thought that they were together. That seems unnecessarily aggressive, but okay. Going up the tower. So there is like an actual tower. This Tower of God. So there's an outer world too. So it's like they're like stuck somewhere specifically, like within these like caverns or underground or something, and then they have to get outside. Yeah, because she's talking about the sky. So I'm assuming they're stuck underground. That's a very like City of Ember feeling. If you guys ever read that book, or I guess there's a movie too, but it's about an underground city, so that's what it makes me think of. Spooky light seems not good. She seems content though, so maybe everything's going to plan. Rachel is the girl. He seems a little bit unhappy that she's leaving. Ooh, I love the gateway design. It makes me think a little bit of the gate from Fullmetal Alchemist, which makes me nervous, but I suppose that there would have to be a gate into the tower. I just didn't expect it to be like in the ground. Is it a magical gate? Does it appear in certain places and then people can just like go through it? Or is it specifically here? Like this is why she was running to this specific spot. Questions I would like answered at some point while reading this. Follow her until you die. That seems like a big thing to promise. I feel like that's ominous to promise until you die, because that means that like you're willing to go through a lot of stuff to still be around this person, or to at least like find them again. I love the detailing on this like doorway. For like a couple of different reasons. One is just like it looks like artwork from like you'll see like artwork like this associated with a lot of like ancient cultures, so like it makes me feel like the world itself that we're in feels very old. Like it has a history, it has its own culture, it has its own traditions, because we're getting this kind of artwork associated with like a very important location or mythos or whatever. And also because I'm assuming we have this tower's representing the Tower of God. We also have the sun at the top of it, so a lot of religious artwork. Suns are used to kind of mimic halos. It depends on like the religion and what's associated with it, but because like the sun itself represents life in a lot of cultures, because it's warmth, it grows crops, you know, it has all of these life-giving associations with it, that having someone's head framed by a sun in a drawing always brings divinity to it. So obviously it's called Tower of God, so I'm assuming that they're making some kind of divine connection between this tower and you know, with this tower, but to have specifically to have that kind of imagery not only like reinforces that idea that the tower is associated with divinity, but it also is, like I said, referencing those like older pieces of artwork, those religious pieces of artwork. That means that there's probably a religion associated with this world, associated with this tower. There's probably specific artwork and carvings and like motifs put into walls and stuff like that because we're getting this artwork here. Those are my predictions anyway, but I love the weight that we're getting to this world even early on. Where are we waking up? Shadows with glowing eyes isn't good. That's usually bad, especially when they're surrounding our protagonist. See, right there, see, we've got more artwork that is very like Roman-esque or Greek-esque, and it has kind of like maybe almost like a mythological thing in terms of the like creature versus some kind of warrior or hero or whatever. I don't know what kind of creatures are around in this world. Like, I don't know what are like mythical creatures within the world and what are like just normal creatures but are like not stuff that we find in like our reality. But the fact that they're like continuing this art motif is a really good way of just like adding weight to a world, and it's a really simple like visual trigger. And the fact that they're very like worn out, there's like discoloration and stuff, like they've been there for a while, so there's all of this history that you can interpret from like a couple of panels, which is really good storytelling. Glowing eyes isn't good. Glowing eyes is bad. It's always bad. I like the purple pink color choice. Interesting to choose that, because there's a lot of warm tones so far. So to choose something that has like kind of a purpley tone backing it is introducing kind of like cooler tones. See, look at that. Look at that establishing shot. So there's like yellow-based browns and oranges and yellow-based light and stuff for a lot of this. We've got like red in his clothing and like the tan color. And then we have this like magenta with the light. So it's a very clear contrast. If we had a bunch of cool tones in the background and then this magenta over top of it, it wouldn't pop as much. It wouldn't be seen as something that doesn't fit within the world. So there's something mystical about introducing the magenta, right? Whereas also if like we had all of these warm tones and then the light was also warm, like it was yellow or orange or red or whatever, it would feel like it was blending in. So there's some good color decisions in terms of just like associating this light that is coming in as being kind of mystical and otherworldly and not something of like the natural world. The bunny-like thing pointing out that our protagonist is of note, unusual in some way because he opened up the gate. What is this like double-headed scythe thing that he has? It's kind of cool. I'm assuming he. I shouldn't assume a gender. Who knows what it is? A guardian. So there are guardians? Ooh. Oh, it's Korean. So this webtoon is originally in Korean? Interesting. So I don't know the Korean phonological system well. I don't know how low their vowels are. Like in Japanese, they're low, but in Korean. Bum? I would guess? I guess it would be like a low vowel, like a very open vowel. I like getting the the etymology though about the name, that it means both knight and chestnut. So thank you to whoever translated this for giving me background on names, because I love that. I nerd out about that. Whenever I have like original characters that I make, I put in way too much research to figure out the meaning behind different names and like the languages that they derive from and like all of the different information that I can possibly get about their names. It's bad. Sounds tasty. Ominous. Are we thinking of eating the young boy? Because that is not what I want you to do. Strange bunny man. So we're gonna have to go up the tower? That's what we're gonna be doing? Why do I feel like, because it's like happiness specifically, it's like if you go up you'll find happiness, that the journey to the top of this tower is going to be very unpleasant. Yeah, see, then the creepy smile and the darker tones of the panel. Ominous. Is a hard and painful journey. Okay. Cool. Let's go on the painful journey. Is that an eye? It looks like an eye. It might not specifically be an eye, but it's definitely probably designed to look like one, which is a little terrifying. You would take any risk to see her? See, that's like some bad vibes to be putting out to the universe. You're like, I'll do anything to be with this person. And that just means that like the universe is gonna take that as a challenge. A test. What kind of test? Like algebra? Okay. So there's like each level of the tower has like a different thing. That's very like game mechanics, that you kind of have to like work your way up the different levels to reach the top. What's that one anime? It's based on a video game where they have to do that. It has like a bunch of like serial killers in it or something. I'll have to look it up after this and so that I know what it is, but it definitely has like a video game feel in terms of like, does that mean it's gonna get harder the higher you get up? Probably, like as the story progresses, you'll need to like evolve the obstacles and stuff. Okay, so there are people on each of the floors who choose what's gonna happen. The difficulty varies. Okay. So there could be like an easier floor as we work our way up. Okay, see, that seems ominous too. You think you could trust a bunny man? And yet here we are. Isn't this the guy with the creepy smile from the first part? Oh no. I feel nervous because we haven't seen... I guess I shouldn't say, like... I keep saying, I'm assuming it's a he. It hasn't said that it has a specific gender, so I guess I should stop saying that, but... I'm nervous that we haven't seen its eyes. Because not being able to see a character's eyes means that they're not telling you the truth. So I don't know how much to believe of what I'm being told. A cage of some kind? And more glowing eyes? For the... What even is that? It has horns of some kind. There's red, which is usually associated with blood, which isn't a good thing. Sorry, I got distracted by the line work on this for a second. Just an artist brain. Moving on. I would also like to know what the huge monster is. So if we pop the ball, we get to live. Yes? Or at least move on to the next floor. Oh, okay. The big scary monster with the blood is the thing we're gonna fight. And or run away from. I vote running away. Given that I don't think that Bam has any weapons on him. Any defensive techniques in his arsenal. It's an eel? The what flowing through the tower? Shinsu? What is that? Oh, good. It's particularly aggressive. Why not? Why not just make this the most unpleasant experience we can? You know? Why are you provoking him? Wait, are there more eels? In the tower? Why would you provoke him and then be like, but think calmly? How do you pop the ball? What's it made of? I feel like Bum isn't listening. Is it in water? Do you have to travel through water to get to the ball? Or the Shinsu? Yeah, see, he's not listening. Oh, now we see. Now we see the eyes. That doesn't make me feel better about this situation. Ah, and the creepy smile afterwards. Why do I feel like you just, like, coaxed him into going up this tower for your own malicious reasons? Why do I feel like there's a catch? I don't like that. I don't like the ominous feeling of that. But let's read chapter or episode 2 and see what happens. Okay. Episode 2. Starting off with a black screen. Interesting to have the, like, bleached out colors, like the faded coloring here. I wonder what that means. Usually that means, like, a flashback, but I don't know if that's what this context is. But we're introduced to another character. This lady, Yuri. So is this lady Yuri, like, one of the people who's in charge of one of the floors? And that's why it's weird for her to be, like, going down to the first floor. We have this irregular that has stepped in, which is our boy, Bum. So does that mean that, like, has this never happened before? Or is it just, like, that someone has opened up the gate by themselves? Or is it, like, it happens so infrequently that it's, like, really noteworthy? Yes, why wouldn't you watch the death match between this giant eel and a young boy? There's not a lot of color. Like, there's the red on, like, Lady Yuri's outfit, but that's pretty much the, like, main color. The rest of it's, like, very, like, desaturated browns and grays and stuff, which isn't what it was like at the beginning in the first chapter, so interesting difference in design. Does he have a weapon of some kind now? Where'd he get that? Who's Uruk? And why are we describing them as a monster? Some foreshadowing, maybe? Oh, okay, so there are, like, hybrids. Which is what I thought maybe there would be from the first, like, chapter 0 kind of thing. But they're also talking about how there were previous irregulars. So that means that this is, like, some people do show up who, like, don't fit the norm. But maybe he's, like, the first one to open the gate by himself? Like, is that the defining feature of these, like, irregulars? Or is that just, like, his feature? Here's another one. Phantaminum? Phantaminum? I'm not sure where to put the emphasis on that. There's at least 2. Ooh, so the eel itself is something that is not usually used this early on. So we're, like, putting on, like, we're using the hardest stuff right at the beginning. Like, we're not warming him up to the different challenges. I don't think it's to make him give up either, because Hidon was, like, definitely trying to coax him into doing it, like, into doing the challenge, into going up the different floors. Oh, okay, so he doesn't like irregulars, so that's probably why. But, like, why would he try to scare him off? Maybe just to, like, get rid of him. Like, he's expecting him to die during this whole thing, and then because of that, he'll like get his kicks out of it. I don't know. I'm assuming this tower doesn't have the most mentally stable people. So there's an inner tower. So an outer tower and an inner tower? What's the distinction between the two of them? Is it more like a fortress than a tower? Where there's like there's some kind of outer section and then the like main tower in the middle? They bring chaos, huh? It's normally stable. There's a king. This is the person at the top of the tower? I'm assuming. Yeah, he's definitely just gonna go for it. Are we helping him? She's lost her mind again? Has this happened before? Oof. Oh, right in the face. So she's the kind of person who uses someone's face as a landing pad. That's one way to make an introduction. See, there's a bunch of color now, though. It's not as washed out as it was before. Why? Is it because of, like, traveling between floors? Or was it just a stylistic choice? I think he does have a death wish a little bit. If it means that he can see Rachel. The pocket. Bringing Evan into this. See, even Evan has, like, more color now. So is it just because they were in kind of this, like, in-between space? So the color is, like, faded? Aw, Evan's tiny. Is it, like, a translation thing? Because Bomb doesn't seem to understand, so I'm assuming it translates. Ooh. Sorry, I got distracted by the artwork there for a second. An orb of knowledge. At least linguistic knowledge. So he's got a special pocket too. Special item going on his journey. Okay, so rankers are different. The fact that he's a guide, so there's like guides to the tower, and then there's rankers, and then there's guardians. As like the hierarchy. I wish that there was like, because they're like, there's a specific language that's used in the tower that I'm just like, the linguist in me is like, share please. I love fictional languages being incorporated to like worlds. I'm a huge Tolkien fan, it's fine. I won't have anything specific about the language in this. So the orb pocket thing is gonna follow him around. It's gonna just kind of be there, invisible, but there. Is that the excuse we're going for? Most of them are super powerful. You don't even know how powerful he is though yet, because he hasn't done any tests. So why like start on hard mode? Wasn't Hedon saying stuff to Bomb at the beginning? So doesn't that mean that like Bomb like understood it? So that why do we need a translator now? Is it just because like Hedon in this context knows the same language? Is that why he's on floor 1? Is he a polyglot? I'll just keep reading. Okay, so irregulars are just people who can open the gate by themselves. So it's not like a specific trait to him. That's just like what irregulars do. Way to be an outlier even among a group of people called irregulars. That's how much of a chosen one he is. Is Lady Yuri actually a princess, or is that just a pet name? Another question to keep in mind as we read through. Why does that seem ominous too? Like, what if the weapons are too powerful for him to control? That's what I'm saying. It might give him an advantage, but what if he can't control it though? Then it's just dangerous. If Lady Yuri is a princess and there's a king, does that mean that she's the daughter of the king? Again, only if that's like actually a rank and not just a pet name. Like, is there a royal family? Or is there just a king? What is also Black March? It's a very specific weapon decision, which makes me think that it's like an unruly weapon. You still look a little bit nervous, huh? Ooh. So that's what she's got following her around? Interesting. Different smaller weapons. Getting a special weapon. Definitely feeling Chosen One-esque. She will be killed by the king? Why? What is it? Is it sacred? Is it forbidden? Is it dangerous? Feels very foreboding. So there's like a weapon class system as well? This is very video game-esque and I'm living for it. I don't know who this Shul is, but sure. Ignited? Half-living thing? What does that mean? So putting that kind of a weapon into like an irregular's hands when they're notorious for having a lot of power seems like a risky thing to do. Just putting out that foreshadowing right now. Will you give it back though? I feel like you might have it for a while. Does she want the tower to change? Is there something fundamental about it that she wishes to like revolutionize in some way? I don't know what the like politics or culture of the tower is yet. Besides like challenging people to like suicidal tests to grant wishes. Oh dear. It's not actually like water though, is it? Because he's just like walking in it. It's a big eel. Ooh, look at that determined look though. He's got this, probably. Hopefully. I worry already for him. Okay, a lot of interesting things. I feel like I don't have as much to like summarize after something like that because I could stop and talk about things, so it's not like when I'm doing anime reactions where I just like let it play. So I feel like I said a lot of the stuff while I was reading, but let's just recap a few thoughts. There were a lot of really cool design choices, which I appreciate as someone who is a visual artist and also used to teach people how to draw comic style art. So yay for that. Some good choices. We talked about that. I really like that there really does feel like there's a culture and a history and like there's just so much weight to the world, which I really like. I'm a huge fan of world building. I talked about being a Tolkien fan. I love when there's like even ridiculous amounts of world building. Like I usually know too much about the fictional worlds that I love, even though it's not entirely necessary to understanding the story. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about characters. I feel like we haven't gotten a chance to really see Baum's personality. Like, we've seen like his determination and we know his goal, but I don't feel like I know who he is as a person yet. He feels a little bit blank, as opposed to like someone like Hiden or Yuri, who like feel like I kind of get a gist of who they are from a personality standpoint. So he just feels a little bit underdeveloped at this moment, which is fine because it's been 2 chapters, like. And I'm intrigued by this whole like tower thing where we're gonna have to like go through all these different levels. I feel like there's a lot of potential for like some really interesting puzzles and stuff. I say puzzles because I hope that it's not gonna be just combat based. I hope that it's also gonna be like intelligence based, resourcefulness based. Like there's gonna be different challenges from different challenges with like for different skills depending on who's in charge of the floor. So I feel like there's a lot of potential for like doing a lot of interesting things and to like meet a lot of interesting characters along the way. Every floor is going to be controlled by somebody different, so there's a lot of potential for that because I don't know how many floors there are on this tower. There's also like these guides that are there. There are these rankers, so there's like a bunch of different kinds of people that are going to be in this tower. I also want to know if the different people who are like in the tower, who've been chosen by the tower, can interact with each other. Like if they happen to be on the same floor at the same time. Are we gonna like run into anyone else who is simultaneously trying to get to the top of the tower? Interesting thought to keep in mind. We're gonna see how Bomb does against this giant eel thing, probably in the next chapter. Already a little bit stressed about that whole thing. We're gonna see if he actually has any kind of fighting potential. We're gonna see what this like Black March weapon is and how that's gonna work. I feel like I don't have a lot to say at this point. I don't know enough yet. So, I hope you enjoyed going through those couple of chapters with me and hearing some of my thoughts and my observations. Let me know if you want me to keep doing videos about Tower of God, either in the comments or liking the video. And let me know if there are any other webtoons that you want me to check out, webcomics, manga, just comics in general, if you want me to bring more kind of reading style stuff to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!